welcome to Middle Age Geeks. This week we'll be talking about the new Marvel movie Fantastic Four. Before that, we'll be doing a bit of what's in the news and also what we've been playing and watching. But I can't do that without my awesome co-host Daz. So Daz, how are you?
I'm very good, man. Very good. Looking forward to getting stuck into this week's movie. A movie again, 2 times in 2 weeks that we caught together on IMAX. The only way it should be seen. Again, looking forward to getting stuck into that. How about yourself? How are you keeping?
All good, man. Yeah, all good. It's been a busy weekend, but also plenty of time to relax and play some games. So, like I said from the top, we normally get into a bit of news first, so that's what we can do now. Daz, what's jumped out for you this week?
I think mainly a few trailers. Like a few days ago, I think the Tron ARES released. I think it's their second trailer, but kind of a full trailer. Give it a bit more insight into the story, and yeah, it's all about the visuals in this for me, and the added story of this kind of Tron cyber world, essentially entering our world, which is very prevalent in current day, with the onslaught of AI. But this looks like it's ticking all the boxes, and just hope it's not going to be a colossal letdown, which it could be very, very evident, because a movie like this, I imagine, is very easy to make a bitchin' trailer to, given that it's Nine Inch Nails soundtrack, and you could pick any 90 seconds of the visuals, bang those tunes along with it, and you're probably going to get something good. But this does look, it just looks fucking cool. It looks at very least that you're going to get kind of three-star entertaining fucking crazy visuals with a banging soundtrack, which that's enough to get me off my ass into the cinema. So I hope people follow suit. But yeah, it looked good to me. How about yourself? Did you watch it?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I thought it was cool. I mean, that one and the Avatar one was the two you were talking about. I think that looks class as well. I just another absolute visual feast.
It's always one of those things with Avatar where it's people, I never just understood people that went to go see the film that came away from it going, that was a shit movie, because it's impossible for you to think that without going in with some ulterior motives. Like, the story is familiar. Yeah, that's fine. Fucking loads of different stories are familiar. Like, there are like 7 or 8 different storylines you can actually do in film. But that was just something that it brought a similar Pocahontas-like story to a new world and give you lush, ridiculous visuals, 3D experience you'd never experienced before, but visuals that just blew your fucking head off. And I love that, and I love the sequel. I think that added to it and added a bit more emotion, and I was fully on board with that. A perfect example of a movie that's almost 3 hours long that feels 2 hours, 2 hours 10. It was amazing. So when this was rumored, and we were talking about this I think a few weeks ago, when a trailer is rumored to be attached to to a movie, that's always rumored, and it happens stateside. But when it happens over here, the movie's released, you go in kind of going, oh, it's a new Terminator movie or Terminator trailer or Avatar trailer or something going to be playing beforehand, and it just never happens. But before Superman, the Odyssey trailer from Christopher Nolan played, which I thought was very underwhelming, given it's a year away. But before Fantastic Four, they played the Avatar trailer, and just like, oh, fucking yeah, we actually got to see it. And it gave none of the kind of plot away at all, but still it was 90 seconds, maybe 2 minutes of just lush visuals and just amazing James Cameron madness. And the fact that they're adding new kind of species in, there's a lot of, the fire and ash, and there's more visual effects around fire, and it just looks amazing.
It looks gorgeous, whether it ends up being decent or not, I think just the experience alone, going to a movie like that, like it's one of the only movies I'm like, okay, I'm happy with the 3D glasses. Usually I just don't have much of an interest, but it's just so gorgeous.
But the trailer unfortunately did feature your favorite character, didn't it? Spike.
Oh, Spike, the prick. I mean, all it takes is just someone smashed a glass on his visor thing. Like, how has that not gotten smashed? He runs around like a feral little mutant child. Just fucking knock him out. I just didn't like the character. I didn't like the orange as the character. I don't know the actor, but I'm angry at him.
Hopefully he is a first act casualty that further enhances and propels the emotional core of the story. Yeah. There we go.
The only other trailer, I don't know if you watched this one, was the Five Nights at Freddy's 2, which I
Oh
think,
no, I didn't get a
yeah,
chance to see it.
it does
Give me the lowdown.
it looks cool. Like well, I say that it looks cool as in it looks fucking terrible, which is exactly what we want. But it looks like they've kind of been trying to expand the universe away from just being contained. So presumably, there's a bunch of like Five Nights at Freddy's is a chain or whatever, so there'd be a bunch of them there. But yeah, like it's the whole cast is returning. Most importantly, Vanessa, that absolute nutjob character, for some
She's
reason.
back.
Yep, she's out having dinner in the trailer. She's out having dinner with your man, Josh, whatever the fuck. Out having dinner, and like, how are you not in a maximum security prison? You absolute lunatic! Like, it's wild. How can you be in on fucking that many murders? Like, and then just go, no, it was my dad the whole time. The fucking you let these people to their death, you
Daddy
horrible
problems.
bastard. Yeah. Anyway,
but like we're all on Team Vanessa. Like
we are.
an incredible character.
The only other thing is that Keith David is getting a spin-off from the Rick and Morty universe. He plays President Curtis, and obviously people are big fans of the episodes he's in. I'm a massive fan of his and that character. So I'm delighted that he's getting a spin-off. He announced it, like surprise announced it at Comic-Con. So it's going to be interesting to see. I imagine it'll be next year by the time it comes out, but Stephanie Beatrice and Jim Rash are both doing voices as well. So I think it'll be cool. So look, with that stuff out of the way, why don't we move on then to what we've been watching and playing? So, what have you been watching and playing this week?
Well, mainly I have been playing more Donkey Kong, and I can't get away from Donkey Kong. I've tried. I even stopped it at one point and said, right, turn on the fucking PlayStation. I'm going to get back to Death Stranding 2 and I need to get back on track with that a little bit and try and manage 2 or 3 games at any given time, because I can do that from time to time. But turn on the PlayStation, the fucking controller was dead, and I was like, fuck that, back to Donkey Kong. And like, oh God, I just can't stop. I've spent so many evenings where, spent 3 hours, 4 hours just sitting there, just not even progressing the story. Maybe progressing like one level or something like that would normally take maybe 20 minutes. And I just spend it smashing these fucking islands to pieces, just like burrowing down and just leveling the fucking place to pieces, looking for fucking bananas and chests and fossils. And it's just like fucking, it's ticking so many of those, like, just go off and switch off your brain and go off with reckless abandon and smash the shit out of stuff, looking for stuff. It's just like, yeah. And if someone asked, like, what did you do last night? It's kind of like I did nothing, but I also did everything. It's fucking weird, but I'm loving it. It's so good. And the more you get into it, the more kind of special bonanza power-up things you get that just add some more variety to the platforming levels, giving you specific traits and power-ups that can access different things. It means you can actually go back to previous levels, like Metroidvania, and actually just access different areas because you have these newfound abilities. But I don't know why I'm telling you this, because you've been playing the same fucking thing.
I'd imagine I'm quite close to the end. I've got oh wow, I've got all the bonanza power things, so I reckon I'm probably near the end.
Fair play.
But now that I have them, my plan is, like you said, is to go back to some of the worlds at the start, because there's probably bits and pieces that I missed that I want to go back and do again.
Like if you check the list of like your level list of things you can collect or whatever, and bananas, and you're kind of going, right, okay, the environments seem like I've searched 80% of the place, and you kind of go, right, how many bananas are left? And it's like, well, you have gotten 11 of 43 of them. It's like, what the fuck is that? Like, where? It's unbelievable, like, really. Yeah,
that's great. Like it's so smooth, like it's so polished. Like the only gripe I have at all is that sometimes the camera can be a bit weird because you're digging down into ground walls and everything, and you spin around and it's like, where the fuck am I?
Yeah.
That can get a little bit weird. But
there's sometimes sometimes they get that right when you're underground, where it does, the camera kind of comes in with you and just gets semi-transparent. It gives you an idea where you're kind of going. Yeah. But then other times it's like, I don't know where the fuck I am. It's like the camera can't find you. But I do find that just the smashing and everything is fantastic. My only gripe would be, camera issues, but the boss battles are...
Oh, they're so easy.
It's ridiculous. It's not even that tried and tested kind of Zelda Mario beat the boss, do a certain thing 3 times to them, and their attacks vary each time, and it's like, oh, that's fun. This, you just go in and just smash the shit out of them as fast as you can. Like, one of them I was defeated in about 14, 15 seconds. Just going, fucking hell, man. Like, yeah, fair enough, but yeah, it should be a little bit more
Well, I
difficult
found
than that.
well, I think I found that with Mario Odyssey as well. I found that to be really really easy as well. Um, which is a bummer, but I suppose it makes sense. But they're by the same studio. Yeah, definitely would like harder bosses. Like it is, I think the main challenge I have had playing probably is some of the environments. You're trying to get around the mini games, and like there's the thorns or whatever the fuck. That kind of stuff has done way more damage to me than any enemy has.
Absolutely, yeah.
But it's great. The music is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I love the character Polly, and like I know she's been what's it called, a staple in that Donkey Kong universe for decades. But it's just great to have this character. She's funny. She's the songs that she has for each Bonanza thing are just so catchy. They're really stuck in your head. Like, and it's a lot of fun, man. It really is.
And her little kind of chats and anecdotes whenever you
take a nap,
kind of buy a little house and have a nap, and she just chats away to whether she's saying she's fallen off the bed or she had a weird dream or something. It's just so endearing. Just like those lovely little quiet moments between absolute fucking carnage.
Yeah, it's great.
I did play. I don't know if I was telling you, Mario Party Jamboree.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, I saw the video. It's hilarious.
Yeah. I was bought that for my daughter. Essentially, like, we would have played it as a group of mates way back in the day, and ossified playing Mario Kart at 3:00 in the morning is a lot of fun. It's a lot different when it's 2:00 on a Saturday afternoon with your 5-year-old daughter just playing away. Like, mini games are fun and all this, but it's like €80 to just play a load of mini games. You try and play the board game, and kids are getting bored. I'm getting bored. Just like, oh, this one takes a minimum of 90 minutes to play. Like, fuck off, 90 minutes. I've got 10 minutes before I have to do something. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Mini games are hilarious, and the motion controls and the Switch 2 upgrade gives you the integration of the camera, so you can see your face on the characters as you're outplayed by your 5-year-old daughter for the 5th time. But yeah, bit of crack. That's all I've been playing and watching. Feck all. How about you?
Nothing new, really. Like I said, playing Bonanza to bits. I went to see Superman again, just because I was worried I wouldn't get to see it again while it's in the cinema.
Yeah, was it better the second time? Did you feel?
No, I think it kind of solidified. I was happy enough with my score. I think I think it's just like I said last time. I think he goes a little. He's his own worst enemy. That's I didn't even mention the monkeys in the last review. Like that could have been something completely different. Like, but instead of having an army of bots, typing all this stuff, he's got this army of monkeys. Like, it's just what? Doesn't matter. I just think there's just stuff like that that's just a little too silly. But it was still an absolute blast, and just really the chemistry between Rachel Brosnahan and David Corenswet is just fucking fantastic. It's a lot of fun. I'm glad I went to see it again, because I don't know if I would have. I don't know if I will get to see it a third time. So yeah, happy with that. Yeah, cool. Well, look, that's what we've been playing and watching out of the way. Why don't we then move on to the main event? So, Daz, whenever you're ready, when you start taking us through Fantastic Four First Steps.
So yeah, Fantastic Four First Steps, the 37th movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, directed by Matt Shakman, with writers Josh Friedman, Eric Pearson, Jeff Kaplan, and starring who we don't really see a lot of: Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Ebon Moss-Bachrach, Joseph Quinn, Ralph Ineson as the voice of Galactus, and Julie Gardner as a Silver Surfer. Setup for this one is set against the vibrant backdrop of a 1960s inspired kind of retro future world. Fantastic Four introduces Marvel's first families. It's Reed Richards, Pedro Pascal, Sue Storm, Vanessa Kirby, Johnny Storm, Joseph Quinn, and Ben Grimm, the Thing, Ebon Moss-Bachrach. And they face off against their most daunting challenge yet, the planet-eating Galactus. They must defend the Earth from this ravenous space god and his enigmatic herald, the Silver Surfer. And if Galactus' plan to devour their entire planet wasn't bad enough, things get very, very personal indeed. So that is the setup for the movie. Disney has tried this movie 3 times before. There are numerous attempts, but Disney tried it in 2005 with the Fantastic Four, the follow-up, 2008, I think, Rise of the Silver Surfer, which I thought was pretty good, actually, mainly just due to the Silver Surfer himself. And in 2015, I think 2015, Josh Trank's colossal fuck-up, which actually heralded the end of Josh Trank's career, because he came out and gave out holy murder against the studio for destroying his version of the movie, and he has made one movie in 10 years, which is like Capote or whatever, which was awful. So as per usual, we will chat about the movie spoiler free, and then get stuck into some spoilerific stuff in the latter stages. So I guess first and foremost, then, Philly, what were your thoughts coming out of the cinema on this one?
I suppose relief a little bit, I suppose, because I enjoyed it, and similar to Superman, you're kind of going, okay, just be good. That's all we need right now. Not because it's just neither studio are on a good roll. So let's just get something solid in. And after Thunderbolts was really enjoyable as well. It's like, okay, this is now 2 in a row that I've enjoyed, and this one is just, it looks like the whole aesthetic, the 60s vibe to it. Setting it in like Earth 828 or whatever, it allows you to do whatever you want, because you can just say, oh, well, on Earth 828, all this shit happened in fucking Sid. This shit happened. Whereas Avengers 616, they tried to do all this stuff happening in our world. So I thought it looked fantastic. I think the first half was better than the second. I like some of the effects in the first, like there's this, we'll talk about the Silver Surfer kind of chasing with the Fantastic Car, and it's something else. It's just absolutely gorgeous. The scenes with her in them, actually, she just looks, it's a brilliant rendering of her. I thought she was great. The score, Michael Giacchino's fucking score, is just amazing, immense. But I guess for negatives, I actually preferred the relationship between Johnny Storm and Ben, or Johnny Storm and Shalaval, than I did between Reed Richards and Sue. I didn't believe that connection between those two actors. And I like both those actors and their work. I didn't even like the Reed Richards character. I thought he was and he's the leader of them. I felt that he was the weakest character, the way he was written, and maybe they'll change that up. But I'd rather have Galactus fucking talk me through a scene in this fucking big monotone voice than that. I just wasn't a massive fan of Reed Richards in it, which is a bummer. But like overall, I'm a happy man with how it's gone, because it could have been an absolute disaster if they got it wrong. What about yourself?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Echo the same. I really enjoyed it. Like, coming out of it, it was a sense of it was just kind of a lot of fun, a lot of relief. I thought the cast were great. I kind of knew what they were going to bring to the table anyway, and early kind of review screenings were saying that they were excellent. Vanessa Kirby was the highlight for me. She was just incredible. And that character in previous iterations of Fantastic Four on screen, it's what's her name? Is it Jessica Alba?
Jessica Alba, yeah.
Alba, yeah. It's kind of like, oh, here's the hot kind of young one, and she turns invisible, and she has a little force field or whatever. But this movie really, and we'll get into it, really showcases the scope and strength and the colossal power in that character. I thought that was conveyed very, very well. I wasn't expecting much going in, which is strange. I was delighted it was happening, but the whole build-up was kind of overcome by Superman in the kind of media, and also personally, I was just like, when Superman was a hit, I didn't really care that much about Fantastic Four. But the fact that it's the first movie of Phase 6, I just read that today, and I was like, oh shit! So Phase 5. What the fuck happened there? They're just like,
4 and 5
we got Thunderbolts out of it, so that'll do.
Yeah.
Like, right, okay. So Thunderbolts and Ironheart were the last things from Phase 5, apparently. But yeah, I thought the characters were great. I loved the family dynamic, and I thought they got that across really well. I mean, because for me personally, like, there's so many people have a love for Fantastic Four and the Marvel's first family, but
Yeah.
I never really read any of the comics, and I'm not really attached to that whole first family nostalgic vibe. So individually, the characters are kind of boring to me, but it's the family thing of it that's always been the uh, the connection. You know, where you're kind of like, and I loved how that came across. You believed they were a family, and they're kind of fighting together for each other, and obviously with a baby thrown into the mix, it adds that. There's a few scenes in it that are very powerful, especially being a dad and stuff. They're very like hit home. It's like, oh, that's fucking good. Whether the CGI baby is good or not, we'll get into.
Hell yeah.
Almost ruined one of the best moments in the movie. But yeah, like in the end, it's, I guess, negatives. Like, I'm sorry, I'll stick on the positives. Like the visual effects, as you were saying, it's like, I thought they were, for the most part, baby aside, they were excellent. Like that whole Marvel kind of sheen, cartoonish vibe didn't really. It's not that it wasn't present here, but it didn't really stick out because of the aesthetic and the choice to set it in this alternative 60s retro futuristic world. It suited it to the ground. It didn't stick out as like, oh, this is a kind of a cartoony thing. This movie, it kind of on the heels of Superman, it fully like embraces the comic book vibe.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it feels like it exists. This is a movie in a comic book. I'm sure Fantastic Four, when they, like at the end of Thunderbolts, when they arrive in our world, in our universe, that'll change, and they'll be now, existing with us and Iron Man and all the guys. But here it's fully like, this is a fully embraced comic book world, and I loved that. But like negatives, I guess, yeah, like some of the CGI towards the latter half just kind of falls away a bit. And like the first half is definitely a lot stronger than the second half, even though the second half has more powerful
Oh, more
emotional
emotional weight, yeah,
moments.
for sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
but it does, like, the finale is a little bit underwhelming. I don't know if it happens too soon. Like, this movie is 1 hour 55, I think, including credits. So it's probably like 1:45-ish of actual story screen time. It just felt it zips along, and that's a good thing. But I could have done with a few more scenes, maybe one more scene with Silver Surfer to justify some of the decisions later on. The same with Reed and how they are planning their attack on Galactus and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, like, there's not a lot wrong with it at all. But when it came out, it was just like, that was really good. But like, I wouldn't be rushing back to see it again, because I don't think it's really good all the way through. But there's not too many moments where you go, fucking wow, fucking cool. It's
Yeah.
just a lot of like, that's cool. This is cool. This is cool. And yeah, I really enjoyed that. And I think we're both aligned in our love of that aesthetic, that whole retro futuristic
Yeah, I love
vibe,
it.
which means I could easily have sat through 5 hours of this and I wouldn't have tired, based on just the world they set it in. I just fucking love it. Really, really love it.
Well, tell me more. Let's go, because I had mentioned the relationship between the two of them. As I said, it's not really to take away from the performances. Was there, besides Vanessa Kirby's character, was she the standout performer as well as the character?
Yeah, like, I just thought she was fucking excellent. She was so powerful. She was like, she's not only a wonderful character, but she's so like strong-willed. And for me, she was the kind of central force in the family. I mean, get on to kind of Pedro and Reed. But yeah, she came across as not so much the leader of the group, but she was just the strong core, and it's like the mother of the family. And she plays it with so much heart, but also steel when necessary. And she has a lot to do here, especially when the stakes are raised. And a lot of that comes down to, and it's hard not to just shift straight on to Reed. And I think Pedro Pascal was excellent in this. He just dulled down all that natural charm that just fucking flies off his fucking head, out of his body at any given time. And he came across, he was a bit more serious and kind of did that whole new father thing. And I like the struggles that he struggled with his personality of being that full-on scientist who just, you know, is kind of a bit gloomy and just looks at all the worst things that can possibly happen so that he can try and plan and solve them. But that makes him so much more of a muted actual character. There's bits of levity that he tries to inject, which is nice, where he has little things with the thing, some bits and bobs. But it's very hard to get across like the whole scientist aspect of him works a lot better than the powerful leader of the family in terms of, or leader of the Fantastic Four,
or even his powers, in general.
Mainly
like,
because the stretchy thing
yeah.
is it's really hard to get across. Like he just, like a lot of his things is like, oh, I need a mug over there. I'm going to stretch over there and get the mug far away, or I'm just going to stretch. I'm going to climb up this building a bit quicker because I can just leverage myself up. And you see it later on in the movie, but it's just like, yeah, that's it. You know, his powers are in the lab and figuring out how to do things, and that's all well and good. And it makes more sense in a conventional movie that would be a secondary character who's the science guy. Having him as the leader of it, if he doesn't have powers, he needs to be that charismatic leader, that fucking follow me into battle thing. And I don't know from the comics, is he written this way, or is this a choice for this movie that you wouldn't follow him into battle, but you'd like to have him on your side beside the leader, which is Susor.
No, he's very much the leader in the comics. Like, I mean, this was the thing about Marvel, the Fantastic Four, was like when this came out fucking 60 years ago, it was a little bit different than what, like now, okay, when Marvel, in the MCU, most people know what the superhero's alter ego is. You know, people, you have the Hulk, and you've got Ant-Man, and and people all know who what fucking Tony Stark is, and they're all, you know, they're celebrities. But in comics, up until that point, most of these characters would have been your character and your alter ego. You know, no one knows who fucking Spider-Man is. No one knows who this person is. But these were the ones that were very similar to the movie. They came back and told everybody about their powers, and were very open about it, and basically were celebrities, you know, because of it. And I think that made them more interesting, you know, than some of the earlier teams. And they were the first one, you know, this was kind of the blueprint for a team of superheroes was Fantastic Four. But I just wasn't a fan of how they wrote the character. And like, you know, I fucking watched Pedro Pascal in a million things. You know, I love him as the Mandalorian. I love him as Joel. I think he's a great actor. I just wasn't mad at how the character was written. But that can change. You know what I mean? That can easily change when we get into when they have to make these guys fit into Earth 616. You know, that can easily change. They can change the character slightly. For God's sake, they got rid of Wanda's accent over the course of fucking one movie. Like you can change these things, and people you can change these things, and people won't really care too much. Like, so I'm sure they can improve the character. But I loved the relationship between what's it called? Eben Moss. Jesus Christ. Is it Eben Moss? Yeah. And
Eben Moss, we'll call him EB.
Yeah. And I'll just say, look, between the Thing and Johnny Storm, I love their banter, because that is obviously that's a mainstay in even the other versions of it, and always is. And I like that they've got great chemistry, the two of those characters, real taking the piss out of each other, and it's great. Every character just has this interplay with another. I agree with you on the family vibe. There is this kind of little bit of a closeness between everybody. You know, everybody gets their own time together, whether it's Sue and Johnny, Sue and Ben. Everybody gets their own individual time as a twosome as well, to make you feel like, oh yeah, they're in this together, and they have been saving the world for whatever amount of years. I definitely got that vibe. They were great performances. They really were from the main four. I definitely have to give a mention to our two bad guys, I guess, if you want to call them that. What did you think of Silver Surfer, of Shalla-Bal, in this one?
Oh, I thought she was excellent. Yeah, as much as it could be. Obviously, a lot of furore online about, oh, it's fucking going woke and it's a female. It doesn't really matter. It actually adds into the story, because the tie with Johnny and Silver Surfer, like Johnny being, and Joseph Quinn is fucking perfect for this role. It's just like, he gets that balance perfectly right. Where in some of the other iterations, he's a total like I love Chris Evans back
He's
in
a
the
total
2005
jock. Like,
one,
yeah.
but he's like that jock womanizer. He's kind of a bit of a dick. You kind of going, he's kind of cool as he turns into fucking flames, but he's a bit of an ass. Where in this one, he's got that kind of like he loves space and chicks, and he keeps calling her sexy and stuff. I love that thing. Stop calling her sexy, but she's sexy. But he's got that perfect balance of like charisma and charm, and later on especially with Johnny, we do get to see the aspects that's never really showcased that much, that he is actually talented and he's on the team for a reason, not just because he's charming and good looking. It's just like he is actually some form of scientist, but we'll get into some of that and some of the spoilers. But yeah, his relationship with Silver Surfer is pivotal to his not so much his arc, because actually that's one of my negatives. I don't think any of the characters really have an arc, bar the Silver Surfer. The main Fantastic Four.
But he is the cause of the change of everything that happens. And not just
he's the catalyst, and his relationship with Silver Surfer is really good. That's why I would have loved another scene with him and her before you get to the end of him kind of trying to connect with her a bit more and saying, I'm can't really get into it, spoilers, but like they have a certain kind of connection, and that could have been ironed out a bit more. I'd love to know if there is another scene in there where there's a bit more of a bond that is reason for the kind of change in the character, let's just say. But she comes across really well. She's just it's just as cool. It's 10 times more cooler than the trailer when you see just her arrive, and just that slow fucking just sauntering down on the board, and it's just fucking and there's so many shots of her that are just epic, and she has minimal lines, whatever, but her character does get fleshed out a fair bit, where she gets to you see a bit more humanity in the character.
Yeah,
but it's the visuals with her are like sublime. We chatted afterwards, and it's like it's so fucking cool. And it's one of those things that there's suspension of disbelief numerous times with movies like these. But the one that's the easiest to just do away with is just the fact that somebody in the fucking when was this comic done? Was it the 60s? Yeah, 60s. Someone in the 60s, probably on lots of drugs, said, "Yeah, imagine like a fucking a being that's made of like kind of metal and shiny. Surfing's cool. Let's do that." And nowadays, you still have this being from another world surfing.
And as I said, the
molten lava.
The main surfer is called Norrin Rad. Like his
Norrin Rad. Yeah. But some of those sequences, as ridiculous as they are, but as surfer surfing waves of molten fucking lava and stuff, it's just fucking cool. But when even just moments where she rises up out of the fucking molten, and it just looks fucking cool. I still think it looked cool back in 2008, and it still looks fucking cool today. It looks even cooler, but it still just looks so fucking badass. What do you think of her? Like,
I loved her.
She's so good.
I think I loved her. I loved the way I loved that they kind of made the eyes animated, like they're almost glossed over silver in the Rise of Silver Surfer movie.
Yeah.
Whereas I loved the way they did her eyes in this.
Looks a bit more expression.
Yeah, definitely. And I thought she was brilliant. I loved. I like the interactions. I would like to see. I know you wanted to see more with Johnny. I would like to see a little bit more with her and Galactus, with Ralph Ineson's character. I would like to see more of the stuff that happened before they got to Earth, because obviously that's what he is. He's a devourer of worlds, and she's been with him for God knows how long. I would have liked to have seen maybe a little bit more of back and forth between the two of them. But I loved him. I loved the scale of him. People will have seen the trailer, the big foot down and walking through the city. And like I loved it. I loved that whole fucking him stomping through the fucking city. It looked great, which I was surprised at, because I thought it was going to look hokey, like giant Ant-Man style. But I liked it. He doesn't have a massive amount to do, obviously, or like lines wise, because the character is so like his drive and stuff is really, really interesting. The whole thing that it's an insatiable hunger to destroy. And I get that's really, really interesting, but it's delivered by an almost monotone. There's not really a whole lot of emotion in this thing, and I get it. why would there be? Why would these insects? Why should he care? You know what I mean?
But it's a cool kind of, well, I wouldn't say anti-hero, but it's not driven by hate or greed or power. It's just like, I need this insatiable hunger, and I'm a fucking human-sized fucking being, and I need to just destroy and consume vast amounts of fucking matter, and that's it, and he can't stop, and it's just like, that's fucking cool. And I like the way that he's on a ship now, where it's just like, oh, okay, he's not just floating around fucking space, eating fucking taking bites out of planets and shit. It's kind of like, okay, well, let's put him on a ship, and the ship eats through the planet. That's cool. And they wisely sidestep. You see him later on Earth. They don't show him getting off his planet and jumping onto Earth. They sidestep all those kind of like, okay, how does he? That doesn't matter. He's down. He's in New York and he's running around. But like, I I do love the way as well that he's just such cool fucking big, like when you first do see him on IMAX in that first scene where you just see the scale of them standing there in that wide shot, little tiny things, and and he's even just sitting down, and he's just fucking monstrous, and he has his glowing eyes, and it's just really, really imposing. And then when he's talking, you're just going, oh, he's teeth. Why does he have like his normal teeth? I would have loved like.
You just reminded of Drax going to go, did you make a penis? Have you got a penis?
Absolutely. But yeah, I would have loved a setup, like a prologue or something about how he came to be. Like, was he just a guy on a planet somewhere and something fucking consumed his planet, or gave this curse of insatiable hunger to him or something? Is there this tragic side to his character, a bit more than just this unwanted kind of godly curse? But yeah, I'd love to just touch on the beginning of this movie, where, again, like Superman, this just starts and it's 4 years into their reign. I love that. But we do get kind of, they set up a little kind of montage to kind of show them fighting a few characters and this and that, and showing a bit of their action. And that was really well done. I was like, oh, this is nice and very succinctly done. It's only a few minutes long, and you're going, that's fucking cool. And it just begs that debate versus Superman, where Superman, when it just has the text, very cleverly written text to set up the actual world and set up the movie in a matter of 40 seconds, and then you're straight in. When I was watching this, it was like, would Superman have benefited with something like that to begin, or would it just kind of change the movie entirely, show him just doing fucking good, and before he gets the shit beat out of him for 2 hours? What do you think?
I think because of the fact that it's the first time Superman getting beaten the shit out of, I think it's good to start it off with that, just because that's what we're getting. All we've got is just bam, bam, bam. He lost his first battle, and you're straight to what? Yeah. The fuck? Who did it? Who hurt him? Who did what? And you don't get any of that until a little while later. And I liked that. If Superman was starting a different way, we were going to suddenly cut into the Daily Planet. Well, then, yeah, sure, have a big thing of that, and then have it going right up to today, and then we cut to the office, and there he is, Clark Kent, fumbling around the place, and that's fine. Then, yeah, sure, I would have liked that. It could have done with something at the start, but I don't think Fantastic Four is as well known. I know they're Marvel's first family, and they've been around forever, but I think a lot of people will have probably even know the X-Men more than they would know Fantastic Four. So I think, and this is a different universe. So I think I think that it was definitely beneficial for this movie to have that,
Yeah. And
what about you?
I think I totally agree. Like, I loved, it definitely needs that at the start, because you can't just lead in, because because it's 4 characters and you don't really know their powers. Like, he just stretches. Yeah, that's what he does. But I think because like they lead into, with that montage of showing them, like, it's very well done, that it's kind of like a documentary piece on TV or something. You get a lot of highlight stuff. But what we miss, definitely, I think, who the character that's underserved, I think, most by the lack of more insight into it, is the Thing. And I loved, I like, because you see a lot of early footage in the movie where he's still really kind of part of the neighborhood, and he's walking around, and seeing the trailer, he's lifting the car for kids and stuff, and he's really just like wants to be still one of the guys. And you get hints of him struggling with the fact that he's now the Thing when he was this regular handsome smart guy, and now he's just this fucking big rock thing. And I think he's a bit underserved in that, because I loved that from the other iterations of the movies, because it's the one that he's the only one that's been physically altered, and it's always it's an emotional core that I think,
because they really hammer it down, and even in the other movies, like in Rise of the Silver Surfer, like his missus is blind, because that's apparently the only the only woman that could love this poor monster. You know what I mean? Like, and whereas in this you see Natasha Lyonne and him have actually some good chemistry. And she's an original character that they made for this. But that's the kind of thing with her and with Silver Surfer and with them. We've already seen at the end of Thunderbolts that the Fantastic Four are coming into our universe. So, what is the changeover? Like, will we get to see those characters again? Because if it's just the four of them and the kid, obviously, Franklin, is it just them on their ship coming into our universe, and their one gets left behind? Then we may not get to see any of those interesting characters that we've met in this movie.
Yeah, that was my main thing. I thought that was nice with her and the Thing, but also I was like, this is kind of pointless and padding, where you could substitute that runtime with a bit more stuff with the Thing, maybe just dealing a bit more with being the Thing, or something that will translate and will come with us into future movies. But yeah, let's get stuck into the visual effects are fucking, for the most part, there's a sequence in space, maybe it's like 15-20 minutes in space, that is fantastic, for want of a better word. Like, I thought it was just some of the best visual effects Marvel have done in quite some time, and I wonder if that's because it just had nothing to do with real world stuff and putting crazy characters in real world. It was very inventive. This camera work is fantastic, and this stuff involving trying to escape like a black hole or whatever. It just fucking loved it. And there's a sequence, we get into spoilers in the middle of that. That is one of the, I'd never seen anything like that in space before. It's like, this is fucking cool. I love that visual effects, especially around space and anything involving anyone other than Reed Richards, Stretchy Man, or the Thing. Whenever the Thing is on his own with no one around him, it's very kind of obviously the aesthetic, or visually, it just changes, and it seems like that's all CGI now. They haven't recorded a plate of the background and then put him in. They said, we'll just do it all CGI now, and it comes down a little bit. But when he's in scenes with other people, I thought he was flawless. It was fantastic. Even the robot and everything was,
except for
really, really
the
good.
baby. When he's holding the baby, is pretty much
moving
floating
around
on him. Like, it's fucking like that can't be the fucking best you could manage. Like, after the rest of the movie looks so good, how could he just be sitting there and this baby is fucking hovering and moving around and just
it's not really a spoiler. The baby's pretty important. Like, and it's a baby. Like, and I haven't read the comics, but I know that this baby is really important going forward. Almost too important. But I think we've touched on production design. I mean, I was going to say you can't go wrong with 60s retro futuristic, but I guess you can go wrong, but you can go the other way. And this is fucking absolutely nailed it. It's batted out of the fucking park. Like, I just
sorry, Daz,
how much fun.
Can I ask you what the budget was on this one?
200 million.
200 million, okay.
Yeah, and I think it's a lot of it's
actually reasonable
screen,
compared to a lot of other Marvel movies.
Because they built a lot of sets, as we saw from some of the, like, behind the scenes stuff. Built a lot of sets. Visual effects, I think 80% are excellent. You kind of see it on screen. There's just great shots around New York when you have the fantastic car flying around. It just looks really, really good. Where sometimes you get to a kind of a Marvel level where it just looks cool, but it doesn't look great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
unless it's, Iron Man or Spider-Man. But when it gets to, um, Avengers and stuff like that, there always are shots that look a bit like, well, that's just not finished. But yeah, I just thought it was all fantastic. The music, I thought it's just, yeah, like the maestro himself. It was just, blew me away, and I was delighted that I know you're a fan of the whole Fantastic Four
Yeah,
coming in the score that comes in the trailer and stuff. When that theme is played in the movie, it doesn't come in, which
yeah.
is brilliant, because that would have taken me completely out of the movie.
Oh,
Just
no,
stop saying
I
the
would have
name
just
of it.
liked to seen it in the credits. I would have liked to heard
Oh
that
yeah, yeah,
part in the credits. Would have
yeah.
been fine.
But music was just brilliant. It soared at times, and it was suitably grandiose, especially towards the end for what's on screen. That was fantastic. Okay, yeah. So we can't really go into Franklin the baby until we get to spoilers. So before that, let's give it a score rating. What are you thinking?
I'm going 3.5, like a really good 3.5. It just does not. Like as I said, the second half of the movie is, for me, it doesn't keep up with the same. I know it's great, the emotional weight and some of the performances are fantastic second half, but I don't know, it didn't really kind of match up. It didn't live up to what we saw in the first half. Also, I would have liked to have seen more towards the end, as you said, of that relationship between Johnny and Silver Surfer. So the things that we see at the end pay off a little bit more. Um, some of the CG is kind of hokey, and I just didn't like the Reed Richards character the way it was written. But
Mm.
again, as I said, that can be fixed, and it's not down to the performance. All the performances were all great. It's just not quite hitting there. It's kind of around the Thunderbolts level for me. A lot of really really cool shit. It looks fantastic, but I think it's completely very very solid for a first for their first outing for Phase 6, as you said.
Yeah, we're fucking perfectly aligned as well. 3.5 for me. I was thinking about 4 when it first came out, but upon reflection, it's 3.5, because again, there's not that many glaring negatives at all. It's just it doesn't hit the heights that I think it could, but I don't think it should. This is kind of like Superman.
Play
This
it
is to kind
safe.
of steady the ship.
Yeah,
It's the start. It's a new phase. Forget phase 5. This is phase 6. Here we go. It does, like, there's a big jump now in a year's time to Avengers Doomsday, and I'm not sure if this steadies the ship. I'm not sure if did enough to get us ready, like Thunderbolts and this, and suddenly Avengers. I think Avengers Doomsday is going to be about 6 hours long. Um, but yeah, negatives. I think my main negative was a personal one, where maybe I was hoping for something different than the kind of Marvel norm, because it is kind of a different world, a different vibe, and I love all that aesthetic thing, but it does kind of play out kind of like a Marvel movie in the second half, which I think is why we both um, prefer the first half, because the fact it's set in Earth 838, I thought it could have done something a little different story wise. But yeah, like there were rumors of their planet being destroyed and them having to fucking escape and all this stuff. And yeah, I just thought it played it a little bit safe, and the ending was a little bit underwhelming, which was mad considering the stakes and the scope of what's
yeah,
actually happening. Um, but yeah, 3.5 from both of us. So yeah, check it out on the big screen, because it's worth it. There are a few show-stopping moments, and it's a nice family, entertaining ride. But yeah, let's get into spoilers then. So yeah, CGI baby, fuck, it
yeah. Like,
almost ruined, like the final moment when, like, and here's one of my negatives just before then about Sue Storm, and when she's taking down Galactus, and she's so fucking powerful in this movie, and it's just
yeah,
you get it across, and it's like that is just done so well. It's mainly she's more it's more visually appealing watching her pushing him back than the spectacle of him being bushbacked. You know what I mean? It's her selling that whole fucking thing, and it's almost like she knows that she's trying to save her baby, and that she's going to fucking succumb to this. She can probably tell she's going to fucking die doing this, and she fucking dies doing it. And it was just, there was a moment, because it's Earth 838, and you go, she's like, they could do anything here. And I think there's not enough of that. But the fact that she actually does die, and for a moment you're just like, holy shit. When he's trying to revive her, and you're going, and the thing grabs him, and just, you're going, oh my God, she's actually going to die. And for that moment, I forgot about the CGI baby until it rears its ugly CGI fucking head.
Oh, come on, you
And
had to know.
it almost
Knew there
ruined my
was
head.
there was
I know,
never any way she was dying.
no, but like for like 2 or 3 seconds, you're kind of going, oh, maybe, and then you're like, oh fucking yeah, baby, here we go, baby. And then the baby comes in floating in people's arms, and it's weird. It's like it's really bad CGI, and it's such an emotional moment. And the baby putting his hands on her to revive her, and as a fucking father, you're kind of going, this is lovely. The music is swelling. You're going, this is great. And the fucking CGI artists are trying to ruin this moment with this weird looking fucking weird baby.
And it's a mixture of a real baby and a CGI baby as well. Yeah. So you're really taken out of it because like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, what happened with the shadows in his eyes in that shot? And it's like, then it's a new baby or real baby, a new baby. That's just kind of like, yeah, definitely took me out of it, because in a moment like that, I started kind of grinning and kind of going, oh Jesus. And at the very same moment, which you'd never do in an emotional moment like that, but you leaned over and you're just like, that's a fucking really shit baby. That's the weirdest baby I've ever seen. Yeah, that was
that was a bummer. Like, but like he supposedly now Franklin is like named for his grandfather, is like the one of the most powerful. What do they call them on the level? Omega level or whatever it is. A certain. He's like fucking Omega +1 or whatever the fuck, you know. Omega new and improved. He's a step up again. He's fucking reality altering. Blah blah blah. So they could end up. You know, the baby has it, the toddler, because he's 4, I suppose, when we get our thing at the end. It could be him having some sort of shit fit, throws them into the alternate reality. And, you know, you don't know what exactly they're going to do to get him in there.
Like, being a fan of the comics, like, have they painted themselves into a corner? Have they written themselves into a corner here with this baby who is, it's why Galactus wanted to fucking him to success.
I haven't read all the most recent stuff, so I don't know, because they could, I think as well, they even retconned at one point where they did power him down. He became a mutant, like a depowered mutant or whatever. So I don't know that, like, Marvel can take it any way they want. How strictly they stick to Doomsday or Secret Wars, you know, compared to comics is really up to them. But the Stinger. The thing was was at the very end, or was it the Stinger that we saw?
That was a mid credit.
We saw 4 years later. Doom. But when she comes out and she comes back in, and we see Doom. Man, it's like, that is fucking cool. Like, it just looks
creepy.
Awesome. Yeah. It just looks fucking class, and it's just for a fucking split second, you know. And the quick, like, hand is out to look around, and then bam. It's like, oh, fucking deadly. I can't wait for Doomsday, man.
Yeah. But I guess one of the other spoilers, probably the main part in the plot of the fact that Galactus wants unborn baby Franklin to be his successor, because he senses he's a cosmic level fucking being and he can take on this thing, and I can chill on the beach somewhere. And it leads into that epic age-old, do you sacrifice one for the greater of many? And it's handled pretty well here. Like, but I think on one hand you have the crowd outside and the general populace kind of going, well, he wants the baby, and then he won't eat our planet. And it's like, they're like, yeah, but we said no. And they're like, what the fuck do you mean you said no? And it's just very realistic in that sense. But then also, I mean, is that realistic when generally you might have the opposite, where you kind of go, well, you know, would you sacrifice your mother or brother or whatever to save everybody? And I thought it was handled quite well.
I think it's a difficult thing to handle. Like,
and I think it needs a lot more to really. The more time you give to it, the more screen time you need to explain all aspects of it. So they kind of dealt well with it. They dealt with it well to get the public kind of against them, to get some external conflict going for the team apart from the Galactus.
Because like you said, I think, because if they had gone into it more, then you have to be like, well, hang on a second, why aren't other countries and everything getting involved? Because if it's, we're talking, if it's the same population as our Earth, you know, we're talking fucking 7-8 billion people, why isn't like fucking China or Russia or something going, hang on a second, there's a baby in America that can save the planet? Well, fuck this, let's just fucking give him over. We'll just go in there, take him. You know, why isn't that happening? But they kind of quell it when she comes out and she talks to the crowd and all the rest of it. Yeah, like, you know, you get it, and I think it's a very difficult thing to do in a movie of this side. If that was the pivotal thing throughout the whole movie, and it's how they navigated it. Fair enough, but we really only see it halfway in when they meet Galactus, or whatever, a third of the way in when they meet Galactus, and then it only comes into fruition really when they come back from their mission. So I think, yeah, I would agree that you're opening a can of worms if you start diving into it too deeply.
I think they just kind of got it just about right, where you kind of go, okay, that's enough. We can move on from that. So I guess then to finish up the spoiler section, let's choose a favorite highlight moment and one of our moments that did not hit. I'll go first with highlight is the birth in space in the middle of that space sequence I talked about earlier. The visuals are fantastic.
That was a choice.
It was just fucking just beautiful. The music, the visuals, like even just down to the VFX of them floating, they're just everything just seemed they put so much attention into this moment.
They did. They did, yeah, but at the same time, I'm like fucking hell, like they put so much thought into it, because like in our space, in our and everything we see in like Guardians of the Galaxy and everything, all those kind of movies, there's gravity on every ship, where in their ship it isn't. It's regular no gravity spaceship. And so like the whole thing of having him holding her down to make, create gravity for her so she's able to push his baby out. Poor Johnny is sitting there, because she just shuffles her jocks off, her cacks off, and they're floating away in gravity. Luckily, Johnny doesn't turn around and go, "Holy fucking shit!" But no, like no, they're very tender and all the rest of it and stuff with it, and obviously someone thought it was a cool idea and it looks really great. But at the same time, and the practicality, if I think too much into it, I'm like, oh Jesus, the hygiene of that.
I've been there. Yeah, I wouldn't want to do it in space. But yeah, no, I thought it was just cool, and it was more for the reactions of people. You just got a real sense of, I don't know, just family and new fucking parents in space that they're planned for everything. But Reed just seemed like he wasn't planned for this. It's as every father is, just like fuck. But that was, yeah, love that. What was, let's say, your highlight if you had to choose one?
There's so much great stuff, but it's got to be the stuff with Silver Surfer, like that chase when they're chasing the Fantastic Car, and I guess it's made, I suppose, to look almost like she's going through a tunnel, like a wave tunnel. Yeah. She's properly surfing it, and he's trying to hit her. Johnny's trying to hit her, knock her off with a laser gun, and it's fucking shots are going all over the place because they're, whatever way they're, I don't know how much fucking sci-fi thing it is, a black hole or some shit. But it's just fucking awesome. The way just the visuals of her fucking crouched down, and it's just this space and like fucking
so
weird
fucking
planes
cool.
and stuff. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Like I was completely enthralled with their whole, the getting into space, getting to Galactus, the getting like all of that stuff. The early stuff in space is fucking top notch. Really, really is.
Yeah.
I was a big fan.
Before we get into, me too. I guess actually before we get into our biggest kind of negatives, I must mention Mole Man. He stole the fucking show for me.
He's funny, man.
He turned up a little fucking cameo. That line where he's just like, Johnny, don't get annoyed at me. I didn't fucking dress you. It's just like, yeah, what a great fucking put down. It's just like fucking brilliant. He's in the movie for about 20 seconds, stole the show. But I think for me, the biggest letdown, I guess, was the finale, and the final battle was there. It was suitably epic and grandiose for the most part, but I once I saw that fucking thing in the trailer, the final trailer, where it's, what time has it been? What time has it been? You just want to say clobbering time. It's just like, please don't be in the fucking last act of the movie, and not just the last act of the movie. It's the last hit on Galactus that he falls into this void and gets transported to a fucking another universe or whatever, and because it's kind of cool at that moment where Galactus is stretching fucking Mr. Fantastic, and that's the best use of his powers ever, that he's just almost
he's a stretch Armstrong, like,
it's fucking horrible. And then Ben and Johnny come in, and it's good banter and everything, but it's just like, it's clobbering time. It's just like, you just like, if you hadn't don't show that in the trailer, because in the trailer there's no context, and it just looks silly, and you're just hoping it's not in the movie at a pivotal moment, and then when it is in the movie, it just ruins it. Where if they hadn't put it in the trailer and you saw it in the movie, and it was just a recurring kind of motif going through the fucking movie, and then you get that payoff, it would work because it's a very wholesome movie. But that for me was just, that's that's the last part of the battle. Like, oh, for fuck's sake. That just, yeah, I was underwhelmed by the underwhelmed by the whole Galactus thing. It was great, but it was just very convenient and happened a bit too quickly. And that last clobbering
Yeah,
thing
I
was,
think that's
was
probably
rubbish.
I think, and I would agree with that. I think how that's probably apart from the Reed Richard character was that end battle where it just wasn't fulfilling enough because Silver Surfer has been off our screen for too long at this point. Like the whole battle with Galactus pretty much happens without her there. You know what I mean? Like she goes at the start, she destroys those whatever transporter things, but she's pretty much gone then after she has her chat with Johnny, which is a great spot. But then after she goes, Galactus is there one round. They're trying to stop him, getting the kid and all this kind of shit. What with a new plan? But then, like at the end, when they're realizing Galactus is climbing back out of that fucking black hole that they knocked him into, and Johnny's like, "You have to knock him back in again." Johnny goes, "Tell my nephew I love him," and he goes flame on, and he's going milling towards him, and his plan is to take him and Galactus.
That would have been lovely.
And that's he's staring towards him. Obviously, he's not going to die.
Yeah.
But she comes in and she just knocks Johnny out of the way and heads straight for Galactus, hits him, and they go into it, and that's it. And it's just we didn't get to see any her getting her kind of even an angry scream or you deserve this or something between even a look back at Johnny where they share a look or something else. But absolutely. It's just she just shows up, hits him, hits Galactus, bam, she's gone, and we have to assume if Galactus has gone to this other side of the fucking universe where as they said he won't come back for 1,000,000 years, well then that means so is she. And so that could be just the end we see of the character, and that's a bummer.
That's my problem. Yeah, like imagine it was something like he gets ripped through the vortex or whatever, and then you think he's gone, but she's kind of tied to him or something. So she has a moment with Johnny, but she's starting to disintegrate or something like that, where you get some payoff with her, because even if she was to come back or something happened to see her on screen again with Johnny or something, like she'll never have as much time as she could have had in this movie, because any other movie, Doomsday or whatever, it'll just be, or Secret Wars, she comes back, it'll just be a fucking 2-minute here. Oh, look, she's back or whatever. That's why I would have loved just like, it's just 10 minutes more to get like another 2 or 3 minute scene with her, some other scenes with maybe the Thing and stuff. Just would have given that a bit more resonance at the end, because she just comes out of nowhere, bang, and that's it. And it's like,
it was a bit of a letdown.
One more scene to buy her change and her turn by just Johnny just trying again, please, please. Yeah, but still great, but definitely could have had another star onto that.
Yeah, I think it could have been up to you. There's a few things like minimal changes you could have made that would have knocked this up to a 4-star for me, but I think I'm happy enough with the 3.5.
Me too. Very good 3.5.
Well, thanks for taking us through that, Des. And thanks to you all for listening and staying with us each week. As always, if you keep on liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, all that good stuff. And we'll continue on. I think we have another decent run of movies coming up over the next few weeks. So looking forward to next week already. So take care of each other, and we will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
See you later. Flame on!